Lunch, dinner, groceries, 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit each time. Pay later didn't feel like that because no money left my account. Then one day I checked and nearly dropped my phone because it's 3,000 ringgit plus interest. I bought my new iPhone, I use BNPL as well, 0% interest,
Yeah.
great. But the problem comes when people start to make late payments.
The merchant who provides the BNPL is getting richer.
This is where real talk about money happens. What's up guys, my name is Emir and welcome back to the Money Goal podcast. This is where real talk about money happens. So today I have Ali with me. Ali is a financial content creator. Maybe give a quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, I did share about personal finance online as well. And yeah, I'm currently taking a career break from my recent career in the UK. So,
Yep. And you work in finance, right?
yeah, I work in finance.
So he should be an expert in this field. Right, cool. So how we're doing the Money Goal right now is we're going to read out confessions from our viewers on threads. And then we'll just discuss, whatever you guys confessed about. Cool. So the first confession is someone who's saying, I swear I didn't buy anything crazy, just food. Everyone says that. Lunch, dinner, groceries, 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit each time. Pay later didn't feel like that because no money left my account. Then one day I checked and nearly dropped my phone because it's 3,000 ringgit plus interest. I'm literally paying interest on food I already finished weeks ago. Now every time I open the food app, I feel stressed instead of hungry. Right, I think this person is spending a bit too much, just a bit too much, 3,000 ringgit plus interest on food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think BNPL, it is a big topic right now. I think a lot of people use BNPL these days. It is so widespread. I think adoption in Malaysia is extremely high right now. But there are problems with it. Right? Okay, I'll just start first. I think BNPL, it rewires the way you think about spending. Even before this, when e-wallets were first introduced, when I first started using e-wallets when I was in China, it felt like I wasn't spending money. Because before this, we were using cash. But right now, we don't even feel like money is leaving our wallet, right? And BNPL takes it a step further. It's not even leaving your savings account. It is just debt that you are accumulating without even realizing. And the thing about BNPL to me is that because it's small payments, right? Because it's small payments, you feel like, just a bit here, just a bit there, just a bit here, just a bit there. And then suddenly, like this person, 3,000 ringgit. Yeah, I think that is a trap that a lot of people fall into. Yeah. What do you think about this?
Oh, I mean, 3,000 ringgit on BNPL just on foods. Yeah, I think clearly, they are spending outside of their means. I can't imagine myself doing BNPL and ended up 3,000 ringgit.
So, on food, right?
Yeah,
I think
just on food.
I think this person is lying. That's a crazy, okay.
Yeah, it might be 100 ringgit trip 30 times in I don't know how many months.
Yep.
So, I don't know, financially, it's probably not the best way to do it, especially when the interest kicks in.
Yep.
So, yeah, if they are earning like fresh grad salary 3,000 ringgit and they have the same level of debt based on their salary, so they are technically living outside their means because this is just on foods. We're not talking about travel
else, right?
and anything, right? So,
yeah, electricity, you guys still have to pay that.
So I think people make mistake, but I think because the high interest, I think clear off the debt ASAP, and then try to spend within your means. And if you can't afford the food using your cash, that means you can't afford to BNPL it. That's my view.
Yeah. I think even before we talk about the interest part and stuff, I think that is the thing that is dangerous about BNPL. Because previously, if we wanted to eat a more expensive meal, let's say 50 ringgit meal, I think most people would consider that expensive, right? We had to pay cash.
Yeah.
Or we had to use our debit card. It comes from our savings account, and we feel like, this is painful. My salary is 2,000, 50 ringgit. That is 2.5% of my salary, right? But now, BNPL, they offer you 0% interest, and you can split it over 6 months. So now, instead of 50 ringgit going out of my savings account this month, it feels like, it's only 9 ringgit, it's only 8 ringgit. That's affordable, right? 8 ringgit for a meal, right? Yeah. It's just that it's 8 ringgit for the next 6 months. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, right? And this is probably what happened to this person. I don't think people can spend 3,000 ringgit on food a month. I spend quite a lot of money on food, I have to say, but not 3,000 ringgit in a month, right? But yeah, I think that is their business model, and this is how it goes about, right? It starts off with 0% interest, which is good. I think it's a good tool that everyone can utilize.
Yeah.
Especially when you're making big ticket items, right? Like you're buying a TV. I bought my new iPhone. I use BNPL as well. 0% interest.
Yeah.
Great. But the problem comes when people start to make late payments.
Yeah.
Right? And then they start having merchant fees, late penalty fees, whatever it is. And the interest is extremely high. It's just like credit cards, right? It can be super high. Yeah. And that's what we want to avoid lah. Yeah.
So exactly, I mean, using your example, as you said, the interest is very high, right? So let's say 3,000 ringgit. So let's say this person missed all the installments and entering into the interest territory. So BNPL now probably between 15 to 30% interest per annum. So if they can't afford to pay that 30% times 3,000 ringgit, how much it is? 900 ringgit just on interest because they not be able to pay. And then only they realize it become 3,900 ringgit, and then they can't afford to pay. The debt compounds and it's getting more stress.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So yeah, hopefully that person can realize that the habit to spend on probably luxury foods when they are on a low income is bad for them because of the interest. Because so let's say 100 ringgit, you go to a restaurant, that means you are paying 130 ringgit including the interest. So people don't see that when they at the restaurant paying the BNPL, but once the interest start to kicks in, that's where, I mean, just to give a rough idea, what's the monetary impact. It's quite a bad habit.
Yeah, it can be. Okay, and then before we get into what we can do or what this person can do to sort of fix their thing, right? I think speaking of all of that, about the downsides of BNPL, the dangers and stuff like that, what do you think about BNPL as an industry in Malaysia? Do you think it's regulated enough? Do you think it's dangerous? Do you think it's good for people?
Yeah, I think BNPL is quite. I think they becoming more famous after COVID, right? Because a lot of people having difficulties. Some people lose their job and struggling on income. So I think it's still an evolving industry.
Yep. Agreed.
Because you can see that there's a lot of merchants out there like Shopee, Grab, Lazada, and whatever offering this.
Actually, everyone is offering pay later now. It must be lucrative.
Yeah, it must.
I mean, based on this person, right?
The merchant who provides the BNPL is getting richer. They exploit your bad behaviour on money, and they are the ones getting richer. So, and you are the one who is losing if you don't use it well. But personally, as you mentioned, for big ticket items, especially for necessity, I think it's a no-brainer. So, let's say, you maybe just move into a new house. There's a lot of big ticket items. You want to buy a sofa, buy a TV, and you don't have the cash to do it, and you don't want to sleep at the floor, right? So that's where you exploit the BNPL companies and pay 0% interest by paying on time within the installment plans. I think that's a good strategy.
Yeah. I agree with you. To an extent. So I think all rich people, everyone who is rich uses that to their advantage. Because 0% interest, I can manage my cash flow, I can earn interest somewhere else, right? But my issue with the BNPL industry is that it is too accessible. There are not enough controls in place. Like for example, credit cards, you have to apply for it. You have to show that you have a stable salary. You have to show, they will check your credit score. They will check your debt ratio and all that before you get it approved. Whereas BNPL, I think anyone can use it. You just need to download the app and anyone can use BNPL. And my take on this is that for people like you and me, yes, fantastic. We manage it 0%, we pay on time, everything is fantastic, right? But I think that we are in the minority. I think this person here, no matter, we say, oh, you're spending too much. I think this is a majority of people. And I think this is how people use BNPL. I've seen reports, BNPL debt, not just in Malaysia, this is a global thing. In the US, it's rising. It's going up. A lot of people are using BNPL, they defer their payments, and now they owe a lot of money in BNPL. So my opinion is that BNPL is good, it's just a tool, but it needs to be regulated better. Just because, it's preying on too many people who can't afford it, too many people like, this person who sent in the confession, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I think. But anyway, they're already in this situation. They can't turn back time and not spend the 3,000 ringgit on food. So, if you're in this situation, what do you think this person can do?
Yeah, so if I'm in that position, so let's say we do simple max, 3,000 ringgit, you want to clear it off, probably 500 ringgit installment every month. So by 6 months, you will clear off all the debts.
Yep. Assuming no interest.
Yeah, assuming no interest, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you assess your net salary. So let's say you take home 2,000 ringgit a month. That BNPL installment should be your first priority because it is killing your money because it will compound interest and the debt getting larger and larger. So probably you can't afford to save. You can't probably, because your salary is small, you can't afford to travel until you repair your mistake. So I would suggest try to pay with using the minimum installment if you could afford. Then go higher. I mean, best case scenario, if you can pay 1,500 ringgit, clear it off within 2 months. But realistically, if you are newly working, you probably can only afford 400-500 ringgit a month. I mean, that's still progress as long as get the balance reduced. Probably next month, the balance becomes 2,500 ringgit. In 3 months, it become less than 2,000 ringgit. So you feel you are achieving something. So your goal is to clear off that debt ASAP because the interest is really high.
Yep. I think I would say the same thing. To me, the two worst debt that you can have, credit card debt. I mean, okay, the worst thing to me before this was credit card debt, but BNPL works exactly the same. Just because interest is high and just because it continues to compound, right? So I would do everything you can to clear this as soon as possible. Whether it means, sacrificing savings and investments, I think that's definite. Even if you invest in ASB, it's giving you 6% a year. This is going to cost you 18% a year. So no point investing in ASB now. Clear this off ASAP. I will go to the point where you should reduce your expenses as much as possible. Right? You got yourself into this mess. I mean, it is a mistake. You cannot turn back time. But now you need to solve this mistake. So you need to cut down on costs. Right? Your 20, 30 ringgit lunch, it can be 10 ringgit. I mean, for sure, there are food options for 10 ringgit. Even in KL City Centre, that's where I work, you can still get cheaper food options. So you need to cut down on all your costs. Of course, you need to stop using BNPL, start using cash, start using debit cards, e-wallets, whatever you want. But make sure you see the money leaving your wallet.
Exactly.
Right? And then cut down all of your costs and then clear this as soon as possible. Look, I don't know what your salary is. I don't know what your commitments are. But yeah, I think this is number one priority for this person.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a great point on the root cause of the issue is probably lack of financial literacy on how to budget your money. Because if you take home 2,000 ringgit a month, probably, let's say this person live outside, rent, I don't know, 700-800 ringgit for a room, and they only left with 1,000 ringgit to survive, right? So that's where they do the max and see, how much do I have that I can afford to live every day? And then they will realize, I actually can afford to eat per meal 10 ringgit, probably max 20 ringgit.
Yeah.
Probably once a month they want self-reward because they work so hard. They want to eat outside good foods. That's fine as long as within their budget. So live within your means, and be mindful with this BNPL trap. It's very difficult.
Okay, I guess just to wrap up what we've talked about today, I think we both think that BNPL inherently on its own is not a bad thing, but this is my view. I think it really encourages people to have bad behavior. So I think it needs to be more regulated. For this person right here who sent in the confession, you're in a tricky situation. You have to try and get out of it. I think we just talked about what you can do, but this is something that should be your number one priority for sure. Right? I hope this is helpful for you. If any of you guys want to share your confessions with us, we won't judge you that bad, don't worry. But you can post it on Threads and you can use the hashtag MoneyGoal. Nice talking to you, Ali. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you in the next one.